Good morning, children. So we have studied so much about capacitors till the previous lecture. Okay, so today we'll be studying about spherical and cylindrical capacitors in capacitors part 8. Okay, we have already studied what is the capacitance of a single sphere with respect to potential at infinity as 4 pi epsilon naught r. But in today's lecture, we'll see how do we find out the capacitance for two spherical shells or three concentric spherical shells and so on. Okay, so let us start now. So we have already studied that, okay, if you have a sphere whose radius is r, then its capacitance is given by 4 pi epsilon naught r. Okay, if one surface is this, the other surface is taken at infinity, then we have got the capacitance as 4 pi epsilon naught capital R. But now we will see how do we calculate capacitance for two concentric shells. Okay, there are a number of cases here. So the first case is find out the capacitance of this two concentric spherical shells. Radius of the inner shell is A, outer shell is B, between the points A and B. Okay, this is your first case. Apart from this, we have two more cases. Okay, we'll study one by one. So come to this, whenever you have to find out capacitance between A and B, okay, connect a power supply between A and B. Okay, so imagine a battery connected between A and B. So if you transfer a charge Q from B to A, see this is getting a charge Q, B gets a charge minus Q. So there is an electric field directed from positive to negative. That means you have an electric field in this space. Okay, I'm just showing you the field lines. And now to calculate the capacitance, I need the potential difference between the points A and B. So let us see how to find out the potential difference between the points A and B. Select a point P, which is at a distance r from center of the sphere. First, I'll find out the electric field at this particular point. Okay, find out the electric field at a point P, which is at a distance r enclosing a charge Q. Okay, we already know it's kq by r square. Or you can write it as q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Call this as equation 1. And if you know the electric field, now we can find out the potential difference because we know the relation between field and potential difference. dV by dr is equal to minus of E. So I'll calculate dV as minus of E into dr or E dot dr. Since electric field and displacement are in same direction, angle will be 0. Cos 0 is anyway equal to 1. So integrate the relation. Integral of dV is minus of integral of E into dr. Put the limits from A to B. At A we took the potential as VA and here it is VB. So integrate it. Integral of dV will give you V. So VB minus VA equals to minus of, substitute the value of E from equation 1. It's Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. Q by 4 pi epsilon naught is a constant. So integral of 1 by R square into dr from A to B. So we get, take this minus sign here, VA minus VB equals to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught. Integral of 1 by R square is minus 1 by R. And what are the limits? A to B. Okay, I'll write the simplification here. So we get VA minus VB, potential difference, as Q by 4 pi epsilon naught. Put the limits 1 by B plus 1 by A, upper limit minus lower limit, or Q by VA minus VB. Okay, Q I am writing here, VA minus VB I am bringing to the denominator, will be 4 pi epsilon naught. Take LCM and reverse the fraction, AB by, okay, so put the limits, it will be B minus A. So we know charge by the potential difference. this is nothing but giving you capacitance of this capacitor. So what is the capacitance of this capacitor equal to? 4 pi epsilon naught AB by B minus A. So this will be the capacitance of two concentric shells between the points A and B. Now if you look at it, it is 4 pi epsilon naught, which is a constant. So it depends on only size of the shells. That means the inner radius and outer radius, inner radius and outer radius. And what will you do if this region is completely filled with a dielectric? Suppose I fill this region with a material whose dielectric constant is K. Then field would reduce by K times. If field decreases, potential also decreases and capacitance will increase by K times. So if you introduce a dielectric slab, so what will be the capacitance? 4 pi epsilon naught AB into K divided by B minus A. So this is the first case of two concentric shells, and how do we determine the equivalent capacitance? Now coming to case 2 for calculating the equivalent capacitance. Okay, so here the question is, two concentric shells with inner radius A, outer radius is B. Find the capacitance between A and B if inner shell is given a charge Q and outer surface is being earthed. So in the previous case we just connected a battery between A and B and we got the answer 4 pi epsilon naught AB by B minus A. But here it is given that the surface B is being earthed. See, I have already discussed concentric shells and how to understand distribution of charges. We will follow the same sequence of steps first. So let the charge induced on this be Q dash. So first we should know what is the charge that is induced or that is obtained on this earthed surface. We know its potential is 0. Because it is earth, VB is taken as equal to 0. Calculate the potential at this point. Potential due to Q plus potential due to Q dash. Since for Q the point is outside, potential due to the charge Q is KQ by B. And potential due to Q dash is also KQ dash divided by B. Sum has to become 0. Implies Q is equal to minus Q dash, call this as equation 1. Now that means equal and opposite charges induced. So value of Q dash we have got it as minus Q. Okay, I'll write it this way. Q dash is equal to minus Q. Now since it is minus Q, there is a field directed from positive to negative. Again we will calculate the potential difference between A and B like we have done in the previous case. So if I select a point P and construct a Gaussian surface, it is enclosing a charge Q. So electric field would be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square. If you know the electric field, we can find out the potential difference. Calculate the potential difference. dV is minus of E into dr. Field and displacement are in same direction. Integrated from A to B. We know VB is 0. This is from A to B. Put the limits. VB minus VA is minus of Q by 4 pi epsilon naught comes out. Integral of 1 by r square is minus 1 by r. And the limits are from A to B. Okay, just like the previous case. Since VB is 0, okay, we get minus VA as minus Q by 4 pi epsilon naught into 1 by A minus 1 by B. Okay. Now bring Q and VA together. Charge by potential difference of A with respect to B will be 4 pi epsilon naught, take LCM, AB by B minus A. So capacitance of this arrangement is same as the previous case, which is 4 pi epsilon naught AB divided by B minus A. Okay, so this is how you can get the capacitance. If inner shell is given a charge Q and outer surface is being earth. Now exactly opposite. Okay, what will be the capacitance if outer shell is given a charge Q and inner surface is being earth? Okay, case 3 of spherical capacitors. Okay, I will earth the inner shell A and B. A charge Q is given to outer shell. Call this point as A and this point as B. So what is the first step I told you to solve this type of questions? Find out what will be the charge which is obtained on the earthed surface. Let the charge be Q dash. If I take it as Q dash, potential at A should be 0. So find out what is the potential at this point. Potential due to Q dash. It is KQ dash by A plus potential due to Q. Since the point is inside the shell, we know potential everywhere inside a spherical shell is same as potential on the surface. So that will be KQ by B. Sum has to become a 0. Implies, what is your value of Q dash coming out to be? Minus of Q into A divided by B. Call this as equation 1. So if this is minus of QA by B, you will get equal and opposite charge on inner side and plus QA by B on the outer side. I repeat, if this is minus, this will be plus and this will be minus. So there is an electric field. Okay, I will redraw the diagram to show the distribution of charge. If this surface is being earthed, on inner side we have got this charge minus QA by B. If this is minus QA by B, here you get plus QA by B and here minus QA by B. Already outer surface has got a charge Q, so plus Q. So this is how the charge is distributed. And now you can see there is an electric field directed from positive to negative this side. Okay, I have called this point as A and this point as B. And because Q minus QA by B, there is one more electric field which is present outside the spherical shell. Now again I will calculate what is the potential difference between the points A and B. So to get the potential difference, first I need to find out the electric field at any point P in between these shells. So construct a Gaussian surface. It is enclosing a charge minus of Q into A by B. So electric field would be, okay, I will write it as E dot dr, E into 4 pi r square should be Q by epsilon naught. It is enclosing a charge Q into A by B divided by epsilon naught. So field E equals to Q into A, bring it down, 4 pi epsilon naught B into r square. Call this as equation 2. So now we have got a different formula for electric field. So now you can find out the potential difference. For potential difference, the same process. Integral of dV, E dot dr. So dV is equal to minus of E dot dr. So if you are taking displacement from inner to outer side, field is inward, angle is 180, cos 180 will become 0, minus 1. So I will make it plus. So integrate the relation. Okay, I will remove the dot product because already we took cos 180 and made this minus sign into plus. A to B, small a to small b. So simplify the steps of integration here. Okay, I am continuing here. Integral of dV, VB minus VA equals to, remove the constants outside first. Q by 4 pi epsilon naught A and B I will write outside. It's integral of 1 by r square into dr from A to B. So integrated VB minus VA is Q into A by 4 pi epsilon naught B minus 1 by r from A to B. Put the limits. VB minus VA is QA by 4 pi epsilon naught B 1 by A minus 1 by B. Okay, because of the minus sign I have reversed the fraction. Or VB minus VA is Q into A by 4 pi epsilon naught B. Take LCM. AB, and here we get B minus A. Okay, you can cancel off this A. B into B will become B square, implies VB minus VA equals to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught B square, and in numerator we have B minus E. So you know the charge and you know the potential difference. So what should be the capacitance of this combination? So capacitance C equal to, reverse the fraction, it is 4 pi epsilon naught B square by B minus E. So this will be the capacitance for this particular arrangement. So this is how we can determine the capacitance if inner shell is being earthed and outer one is given a charge Q. Okay, now look at the case 3 of spherical capacitors again. So in this question they have given you two spheres. They are not concentric this time. So the first sphere is given a charge Q, second is given a charge minus Q. Radius is A. This one's radius we took it as B. And they are separated by a distance D. And assume that this distance is much greater when compared to A and B. That means this is a very large distance when you compare with the size of A and size of B. Okay, if you don't consider that, there will be inductive effects. That means this charge Q will influence B and B will influence A. So that's why this condition is given, take B much greater than A and B. So for this type of arrangement, they are asking you to determine what is the capacitance of this particular arrangement. So to get the capacitance of this arrangement, okay, so we will again find out what is the potential difference between the points A and B. So I'll find out VA minus VB. Okay, what is the potential at A? Because of this charge Q, we know it is KQ by A. Okay, potential at this point due to this charge Q is KQ divided by A, minus potential due to negative charge. Okay, so at this particular point B is minus of minus, that will become plus, because we know potential due to positive charge is positive and due to negative charge it is negative, minus KQ by B. And here again I am repeating, we are not taking potential at B because of minus Q, and we are not taking potential at this point because of plus Q, making use of this condition. Since distance is very large, the first charge is not going to influence the second one is not going to influence the first. So we have got the potential difference between A and B. And once you know this potential difference, simplify it, VA minus VB will be K and Q, you take out common, take LCM, AB, B plus A, or Q by VA minus VB will be AB by K into B plus A. And we know K is nothing but 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. When you write it as 4 pi epsilon naught, so what will you get capacitance as? 4 pi epsilon naught AB divided by A plus B. So this will give you the capacitance for an arrangement of two spheres at a very large distance of separation. Now all put together in two spherical conductors, if I write the formulas, for a simple sphere what did we get the capacitance as? 4 pi epsilon naught R. For two concentric shells between A and B, it is 4 pi epsilon naught AB by B minus A. Inner radius is A, outer radius is B. If you fill this region with dielectric, we have to multiply with K times. Then we have seen this case. Two concentric shells, inner one is charged, outer one is earth. Answer is same. But if inner shell is earth, outer one is given a charge Q. We have got the capacitance 4 pi epsilon naught d square by d minus A. And now in this particular case, we have got the answer 4 pi epsilon naught AB by A plus B. So as the arrangement changes, accordingly the capacitance is also going to modify. So if you remember these formulas for solving objective questions, you can directly put the answer, okay, without much derivations. So this is for two spheres, and I told you how to determine the equivalent capacitance. Okay, sometimes they give you three concentric shells, and then you are asked to find out the equivalent capacitance. Okay, look at that case. Okay, so this time I will be taking three concentric shells. Okay, let the inner radius be A, outer radius is B, till here it is C. Now we need to find out the capacitance between A and B, and let us suppose that this region is completely filled with a material of dielectric constant K. Now since you need to find out the equivalent capacitance between A and B, if you observe the diagram, okay, you will see that this is a common surface for inner shell also and outer shell also. So if you assume that between A and the second shell, the first and the second shell, there is a capacitance, what would be its capacitance? Just now we have discussed. If this region is completely filled, A and B, if you want to find out the equivalent capacitance, what would your answer be? 4 pi epsilon naught AB by B minus A. And because you have filled it with a dielectric constant, I will write it as K. Now between these two shells also there is one more capacitor. I will call this as C2. So between B and C, and it is a vacant, okay, without any dielectric. What would its capacitance be? 4 pi epsilon naught BC by C minus A. Now since this is a common surface, first capacitor is between A and second capacitor is between this and this. So we get the equivalent capacitance because they are in series combination. 1 by C equivalent will be 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. Okay, I will show the diagram here. If I am finding the equivalent capacitance between A and B, between first and second surface you have a capacitor C1. Okay, this is first surface, second, third and fourth. 2 and 3 are same. So second and third surface we have one more capacitor C2. This is completely filled with dielectric. Okay, we have already got the formula for C1. Then this is the formula for C2. How are the two capacitors connected in series? If they are in series, we know how to find out the equivalent capacitance. Okay, so you can put the values and then find out equivalent capacitance. So find out what should be the answer. 1 by C equivalent will be 1 by C1. Reverse the fraction. B minus A by 4 pi epsilon naught AB into K plus C minus A divided by 4 pi epsilon naught B into C. Okay, take LCM. Okay, here I will write it. 1 by C. Okay, now let's see how to find out the capacitance of a cylindrical capacitor. Okay, till now we have seen the capacitance of a number of spherical capacitors. Now for cylindrical capacitor, look at the arrangement. Okay, there are two concentric cylinders. Length of the cylinder I took it as L. The inner cylinder whose radius is A is given a charge Q. Outer cylinder whose radius is B, this is given a charge minus Q, and we have to find out the equivalent capacitance of this arrangement. So for that, select a point P in between the two cylinders. Construct a Gaussian surface to calculate the electric field first. Okay, so we know electric field is directed away. ds is also directed away. It is enclosing a charge Q. So if I apply Gauss law, E into curved surface area 2 pi RL should be Q by epsilon naught, or we will get the electric field as Q by 2 pi epsilon naught R into L. And once you get the electric field, procedure is the same. You will calculate the potential difference between the points A and B. So dV is equal to minus of E into dr integrated. Integral of dV is minus of Q by 2 pi epsilon naught RL into dr. Integrate this relation also. What are the limits? A to B. R is ranging from A to B. VA to VB. So integral of dV will give you V, that is VB minus VA, equals to, take the constants outside. Q is constant, 2 pi epsilon naught L is constant, even minus I am writing outside. Integral of 1 by R into dr is ln of R, log R. What are the limits? A to B. Take the minus sign to the left hand side, VA minus VB, because A is at high potential than B, will be Q by 2 pi epsilon naught L log upper limit minus lower limit. We know log B minus log A can be written as log of B by A. It's a natural logarithm. Now Q on one side, VA minus VB on the other side. So Q by potential difference will be 2 pi epsilon naught L divided by log B by A. So this will give you capacitance of a cylindrical capacitor. So if you fill this region with a dielectric, that means between the two cylinders, if you completely fill it with a dielectric, then you can increase its capacitance by K times. So this is how you can find out capacitance of a cylindrical capacitor. So in today's lecture, what all did we study? Okay, we have studied capacitance of various spherical conductors and concentric shells. Then capacitance of a cylindrical capacitor. So this is all in capacitors part 8. So determining capacitance of spherical and cylindrical capacitor.